English inside. Passive voice causative. Passive voice causative describes someone doing an action for someone else, or when someone causes someone else to do something. The focus is not in the doer of the main action, but in the receiver of the benefits of the action. In active voice, we may have a sentence like this. She washes her car. It follows the next structure: subject, verb, and object. This structure is to show that the subject is the responsible of the action, and the object receives or is affected by the action. On the other hand, the causative version of passive voice follows the next structure. First of all, we need someone, which is not the doer of the main action, but the beneficiary of the same action, the auxiliary have or has, then the object, physical and grammatically speaking, and the main verb conjugated in past participle. She has her car washed, which expresses the fact that someone else does the action and she receives the benefits of that action. It's important to understand and differentiate the elements of those sentences. A subject is the doer of an action, and we identify it within a sentence following the next formula: who plus the verb equals the subject. The verb, in this case, happens to be the action. The object is the receiver of the action, or the one that is affected by the action, and we encounter it within a sentence following the next question: what plus verb equals the object. Transitive verbs are verbs which need an object. For example, she plays rugby. The structure subject plus verb plus the object makes the object necessary so as to understand the idea: she plays rugby. In this case, the object is the complement of the sentence. Transitive verbs are verbs which do not need an object. For example, she exercises in the morning. It follows the structure of subject plus verb plus the rest of the sentence. In the morning is not a complement of the verb, merely a descriptor. In this case, an adverb of time. Check the next case. She plays very well. The verb is the same. It is to say, transitivity does not depend on the verb. Transitivity depends on the way the sentence is using the verb. The causative form follows the next structure. We commence by mentioning someone, it is to say a patient subject. The patient subject is not the doer of the main action, but this person receives the benefits of the action. Then the auxiliary have or get. The auxiliary is conjugated according to the tense and the patient subject, in the cases of the third person. The object is usually a physical thing, and it is the receiver of the main action, namely, it is affected by the main action. Then, the main verb should be conjugated in past participle. Finally, the agent, which is the doer of the action, it is introduced by the particle by. It may be omitted. So the structure is someone, the auxiliary have or get, the object, and the main verb conjugated in past participle. Let's analyze the form with the next example. Catherine cut her hair. It follows the structure of subject, main verb, and the object. It is a sentence in simple past, and the sentence is in active voice, which implies that she cut her own hair. She did the action, or the subject is the one who did the action, in this case, Catherine. Now, let's check this other example. Someone cut Catherine's hair. In this case, Catherine did not do the activity, but she received the benefits of the action. In order to express that idea in causative, we have to follow the next structure. We commence by mentioning the patient subject, which is not the doer of the main action, but this person receives the benefits of the action. And in this particular case, it is Catherine. The next element is the auxiliary have or get, and it should be conjugated according to the tense and according to the patient subject. In this case, it is third person, however, it's simple past, so the auxiliary have should be conjugated had. The next element is the object, and in this case we are talking about Catherine's hair. Finally, the main verb conjugated in past participle. In affirmative, we say, Catherine had her haircut. In negative, Catherine did not have her haircut. And in interrogative, we say, did Catherine have her haircut? The answers, of course, are yes, she did, and no, she didn't. Notice that in order to change the mood of the sentence, affirmative, negative, and interrogative, we merely have to change the auxiliary. Let's analyze causative in present simple. In active voice, we say, someone paints Sam's house. And in causative, Sam has his house painted. Sam is the beneficiary of the activity. That is the first element. The main verb is in present simple. That's the reason why we have the auxiliary has. The object is Sam's house, and the main verb conjugated in past participle. In present continuous, we say someone is painting Sam's house. In causative, we say Sam is having his house painted. Sam, the beneficiary, is painting, is having. Object, Sam's house. Main verb, conjugated in past participle. Present perfect simple, active voice. Someone has painted Sam's house. In causative, Sam has had his house painted. Sam, the auxiliary, has painted, has had. The object, Sam's house. And the main verb, conjugated in past participle. Present perfect continuous, active voice. Someone has been painting Sam's house. In causative, we say, Sam has been having his house painted. The first element, Sam, has been painting, help us to conjugate the auxiliary, has been having. The object, Sam's house. Main verb conjugated in past participle. Painted. Now let's check the forms in past. In past simple, we say someone painted Sam's house. In causative, we say Sam had his house painted. We commence with someone. The main verb tells us the conjugation of the auxiliary, the object, and the main verb conjugated in past participle. In past continuous, we say someone was painting Sam's house. We commence the structure in causative with Sam. The conjugation of the verb is telling us the conjugation of the auxiliary, the object, and the main verb conjugated in past participle. Past perfect simple. Someone had painted Sam's house. The first element in causative is Sam, then the conjugation of the verb is telling us the conjugation of the auxiliary, then the object, and the main verb conjugated in past participle. Past perfect continuous. Someone had been painting Sam's house. In causative, we commence with Sam, then the conjugation of the verb is telling us the conjugation of the auxiliary. It is followed by the object, and then the main verb, conjugated in past participle. In neither of those cases, Sam does the action. He is merely the beneficiary of the action, which is done by someone else. In future simple active voice, we say, someone will paint Tom's house. In causative, we commence with Tom, the beneficiary. The conjugation of the verb tells us the conjugation of the auxiliary, the object, and the main verb conjugated in past participle. In future continuous, someone will be painting Tom's house. We commence with Tom. The conjugation of the verb is telling us the conjugation of the auxiliary, the object, and the main verb conjugated in past participle. Future perfect simple. Someone will have painted Tom's house. The first element, the conjugation of the verb, is the conjugation of the auxiliary. It is to say, exactly the same thing that happens to the verb is exactly the same thing that has to happen to the auxiliary, the object, and the main verb conjugated in past participle. Future perfect continuous. Someone will have been painting Tom's house. In causative, we commence with the beneficiary. Then the auxiliary should be conjugated exactly as it is conjugated the main verb, the object, and the main verb. Future going to. In causative, all the elements followed exactly the same formula. someone, auxiliary, object, and the main verb conjugated in past participle. Ta-da! Please like this video, share, comment, subscribe, and of course, thanks for watching. Bye!